Much has been written, even more has been said about digital disruption. It's either easy to understand or very difficult to comprehend. Depends on your point of view, because when you look at the speed at which technology is changing, it's even more important to realize the speed at which human consumer behavior is changing. Human consumer expectations are changing. And these changes are driven entirely by technology. I mean, think about this, that if you take Google, Facebook, Amazon, and Microsoft, their total data storage exceeds 1 exabyte. 1 exabyte is 1 million terabytes. That's 20,000 times more than all the information contained in any book ever written. And that's not the frightening part. The frightening part is all this information is easily accessible, easily available. What does that do? What that does is that it transfers the power from businesses and business marketing to the individual consumer. That is what I call the power of one. Now, when you think about it from another context, digital disruptions meant that now non-traditional players are entering businesses like banking, retail, healthcare, and completely destroying the conventional models which have held good for centuries in some cases, or 50, 60, 70 years in other cases. It also means that companies who are in one business are now entering another business. Take Amazon, for example. They started out as an online bookseller. Today, they're the world's largest, probably the largest, cloud services provider. From what we hear, companies like Flipkart, who are in e-retail, are also entering the capacity business. When you look at Google, they have entered the banking business. Starbucks, for example, on their Starbucks card, took deposits of billions of dollars, interest-free. That kind of deposit any bank would have been happy to get. So, digital disruption is not only disrupting business models, it is disrupting business structures. It is changing consumer behavior. It is driving consumer expectations. All of this has been put together in a beautiful acronym called SUPER by Forrester Consulting to describe the way companies need to address this new market of the digital generation. S of SUPER stands for simple. That means every transaction has to be as simple as possible. U is ubiquitous. That means anyone, anywhere, anytime, from any device can actually effect the transaction. P is personalized. That means the transaction has to reflect a knowledge of the consumer. E is empowering, that at the end of the transaction, the consumer feels empowered, that he owned the transaction, that the company was actually subservient to his needs. And finally, R is reassuring. That means at the end of the transaction, the consumer felt that the company did everything to earn his trust. Super. That is how companies will need to behave, and that is how companies will need to be if they want to succeed in the digital generation.